X4 Foundations has been with us a few months now, and it had a very successful launch. Although numerous bugs were soon found thereafter, many of them have since been fixed, and many others continue to be fixed. None of this, of course, has stopped Egosoft continuing on with future development of the game, which continues at a rapid pace. The developers have now released a roadmap that highlights content of the game all the way up to version 3.0. Highlights of these updates, among many other things, are better crew training, new ship types, and improved sector control. Before we get to the larger updates, however, let's take a look at version 1.6, which has recently gone live. This patch is mostly about bug fixes, however it also contains a small amount of new content as well as a number of improvements. On the new side, music tracks from the previous X games have now been included in X4. There are also new filters and edit features for auto queues. In terms of improvements, the overall game performance is now better. The AI when attacking stations has also improved. Egosoft have taken a look at rewards for various mission types, and they have enhanced this for better calculations. As said though, the 1.6 update is mostly about fixes, and it contains over 60 bug fixes. You can now find a link to the full changelog in the video description below. Moving on to the larger updates then, these are aimed at introducing both new content as well as slightly larger scale improvements to the game. This will begin with version 2.0, which is scheduled for release at some point in February. The two large aims with this update are the introduction of player-controlled shipyards as well as an improvement to the crew training process. While shipyards are already in the game, it currently isn't possible for players to create and run their own shipyards. The introduction of this as a system will allow players to sell ships to war factions as well as to fully construct their own fleets. The information on crew training changes, however, seems to be a little bit unclear, at least to me. To quote Egosoft's announcement then, another focus for 2.0 is to make crew training a bit easier. Crew and pilots gain experience by doing their jobs, more so in some areas than others. However, whilst the first 2 stars are very easy to gain, the progress slows down after that. Getting from the 3rd to the 4th star takes a lot more experience than from the 1st to the 2nd. That is literally all I have to say about crew training, so it appears that they are, at the moment at least, describing the current situation, although they could equally perhaps be describing the future intents here. Either way, an improvement and hopefully more clarity on crew training would be most welcome. Update 2.50 will then focus on a number of other features. Perhaps the biggest highlight of 2.50 will be the introduction of a new ship type, the resupply ship. This will serve the function of a mobile equipment dock, allowing fleets increased levels of self-sufficiency. Egosoft are also planning on bringing both TrackIR and Toby support into X4 by patch 2.50 at the latest. Another new feature will be allowing players to create sector blacklists. These will prevent your ships flying into hostile sectors or indeed other sectors that you don't want them to enter. Egosoft also intended to create a new inventory management system for this update, although details on this are pretty much non-existent right now. For those who are interested in a Linux version of the game, Egosoft currently have this in development, with the intent to release it around the same time as the 2.50 update. Currently, there's no release date for 2.50 or 3.00, but update 3.00 will also be focusing on new features. This will include a new sector control feature that will not only allow you to set custom names for sectors, but also allow you to set custom rules. In short, Egosoft state that this will effectively allow you to become a faction in the game. Egosoft are also investigating new missions, new research, and potentially the ability to relocate the player HQ. So then, that does sum up a whole lot of content that will be coming to X4 Foundations this year. However, it doesn't end there. Egosoft also have a full expansion for X4 in the works. This will be a paid update and will include the split alien race, along with their ships, space, and economy. Naturally, this also means expanding the current playable game area. Now, whilst there's no release date for this expansion, Egosoft have stated it should arrive shortly after 3.00. It's also worth pointing out that the future expansion here, as well as the second one, I think coming either at very late 2019 or at some point in 2020, can already be purchased as a part of the collector's edition of X4 Foundations. The collector's edition also, of course, contains a bunch of other things, but it's nice to see that it contains these updates already, or that you can prepay for them, meaning that they won't cost you as much as when they finally turn up. Also, if you already own X4 Foundations, you can buy the collector's edition content as a separate additional purchase for, I believe, £25 over on Steam. So there's plenty of reasons right now to return to X4 if you've taken a break, and if you've never had a chance to play yet, it really is a great game, and Egosoft clearly take it very seriously with the number of improvements and updates that they've been doing here. I'll be returning to X4 Foundations again with more videos over the coming weeks, so do keep an eye out for those. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.